So how do we move forward with this? What is the call to action, as I like to think it through? Well, first of all, we need to stop denying our emotions. We need to recognize that they're there. I've heard this said a bunch of times. We must either own our emotions or they will own us, right? Have you ever experienced that? Emotions churning up. We experience emotions, whether we like it or not. They're happening. And so let me give you some advice on what not to do. Do not stuff your emotions. When you have them, you're going to have to do something with them. But if you've ever tried to bury an emotion, just so you know, you're always going to bury that emotion alive. And it will dig its way back out and be a zombie in your life until you deal with it. That's the truth of it. Don't medicate your emotions. Like Brene Brown said, when you numb the pain, trying to avoid the hurt, the problem is it doesn't actually heal the problem, and it numbs you to the ability to feel joy too. And basically, don't avoid them. You can only run for so long and so hard before you will run out of gas, and the reality of your emotions will catch up with you, and you'll have to deal with them eventually. What I would encourage you to do, actually, is to express your emotions openly and honestly. Communicate your feelings. And this, by the way, will take practice, especially since we have such poor vocabulary for it. But we've got to do it. When you feel an emotion, don't let it own you. Just communicate what's going on for you with the people around you. You can say, you know what? I'm frustrated right now. There's nothing wrong with that. Or the circumstance I find myself in, I'm feeling anger. And I'm trying to keep it under control because the truth is I kind of want to scream out right now. The next thing I want you to do is recognize your emotions as a reflection, not just of your perceptions of the moment, but also that they're about what has shaped you, both good and bad, your past. Your feelings are always going to be reaching back to past experiences, which is where those zombies come up. Maybe you've experienced this recently, where you've had an occasion to be mad, but you realize your anger is disproportionate to the situation. Nobody's ever had that happen to them, right? And that's because there's a zombie there someplace that's been ticked off by that just last straw. And so recognize that that's what's happening, which brings me to the kind of last piece of advice I'd like to share with us today, and that is be curious about your emotions. Especially when you think you're feeling an emotion that doesn't match your situation the way logically you think it ought to. I mean, when you get cut off in traffic, sure, you'll feel a moment of fear and a bit of threat, and you might say, hey, jerk, get out of my way. But if you find yourself chasing them down the freeway, honking your horn and throwing things out the window at them, that's called disproportionate, and there's something going on there that you get to deal with. Ask yourself, where's that coming from? Because when you do, then you can bring that to God. And the God of restoration, the God of healing, the God who wants to be living in relationship with each and every one of us will bring us into that place of joy and peace.